to record. Okay, right? Okay, so I can skip down, eh? Right, there is C and D. Come on. Again, same thing. We're multiplying in a positive. So none of those numbers are going to change. It basically looks exactly like what was given, just without the brackets. And then we look for like terms. Let's look at the m squared first. So minus 4m squared minus 3m squared. They like terms. So if I simplify, it's going to give me minus 7m squared.
There is a minus 1m. You just write m.
Yes, yeah. Okay, then normal m's. I've got 7m minus 8m. Now that gives me minus 1m. But as I said, it would not have been wrong if you just said minus m. Because if nothing is written in front of the m, we automatically assume that it is a 1. Okay. You good? Great. Then positive 8 minus 9 is going to give me minus 1. Okay, look at D. Any questions there?
I first wrote 0 and somehow I got to the answers. And then I calculated something. I got to 10. So
10.
the answer is 0. I first wrote 0.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used my calculator. And I might have typed something wrong. But then I typed it again now. It's actually 0. But
I think maybe instead of a 4, you put in 14 or something like that. That's the only thing that would make sense.
well, I don't know.
Okay, can I skip people? Right, there's number 2. Now we are multiplying in negatives. So because that's a negative, remember that all of these signs are then eventually going to change, because minus 1 times 12a is going to give me minus 12a. Then minus 1 times 18b is going to give me minus 18b. The third one, minus 1 times 11c is going to give me minus 11c. So you'll see that none of the numbers change, it's just the signs. Right? All right, so then again we look for like terms. So the 15a minus 12a gave me 3a, and then 24b minus 18b gave me 6b, and 13c minus 11c gave me 2c.
Then I was first so confused how you got to how to calculate. And then I realized I was doing that. For example, that is what you do, not that. For example, like the plus or the minus.
Oh, you used the sign after the number.
But I also got them right. Like somehow I got the answer right.
Okay, right. Look at B, same thing. Any questions there? Can I skip?
No.
Okay, tell me when you're done. Can I skip? Okay, is op jou eie bladsy.
Honestly, I think this is like why you're also out there because like that's the last time you pretend to have. Jan doesn't get angry halfway through.
Ek gaan nog eendag. As jy my op die verkeerde dag vang. Hy was by my.
I would never coach you on the wrong day though. You'd never coach me.
Ergens deur die jaar gaan hy kom. Okay, can I skip? Kom meneer, ja. Ja. Okay, right. There's C and D. Quickly mark.
Oh man, give me a break. I was looking at the wrong thing.
Okay, so any questions at C? None. Okay, D? Yes. Too fast? Okay. Kan ek gou vir jou stuur? Ja, nie gou weer vir sny gaan, sny. En die sit mos gaan afval. Ek vra gou vir net weer my kar sleep. Maar wil ek vir vra om ietsie uithaal asseblief. Jy praat dan lekker met jouself, hè? Entertaining yourself. Tell me when you're done, Papi. Right, you done? Okay, now we're going to do a new part. So,
Are we not supposed to
Wait.
do 1 to 4 lines? Yeah, 2, 3, and 4 still.
what was this? 2, no? Okay, so we still got to do 3. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Okay, right, so number 3 says subtract that from, and then there was a second bracket. Now, we say that we use what was written after the word from first, right? So you should have, and remember if your brackets are now switched around, it's wrong. So we start with this bracket, keep it in brackets and say minus because we're subtracting from that. And then we have the 5m plus 6n minus 4p. The board's that way, no? Okay, right. So the first one is going to stay exactly the same. And now I multiply in that negative 1. So negative 1 times 5m is going to give me minus 5m. Negative 1 times 6n is going to give me negative 6n. And then lastly, positive 4p. You guys fine with that? Okay, now we look for like terms. So 8m over here minus 5m is going to give me 3m. Then all the n's, minus 2n minus another 6n is going to give me minus 8n. Okay, then the p's, minus 7p. Is it anything? Well, okay. So minus 7p plus 4p is going to give me minus 3p. Okay. Any questions there? Okay, now the last one. From that, subtract 2x squared, etc. So they were nice enough putting it in the right order. So I've got x squared plus 7x minus 9. And from that, subtract 2x squared minus 3x plus 4. Okay, so we're first going to get rid of the brackets, the beginning one. Now I've got to multiply in the minus 1. So minus 1 times 2x squared is going to give me minus 2x squared. Minus 1 times minus 3x is going to give me positive 3x. And minus 1 times positive 4 is going to give me minus 4. Okay, now we look for like terms. Let's start with the x squareds. This is actually 1x squared, right? So 1x squared minus 2x squared is going to give me minus 1x squared. But you could also just write minus x squared. Okay, now the normal x's. So I've got 7x plus 3x is going to give me 10x. Near 2, not 11. Okay, then normal numbers, minus 9 minus 4 is going to give me minus 13. All right, any questions? Okay, good. So now we are going to multiply and divide expressions. Okay, can I skip? Is anyone still copying here? No way. Good. Okay, so the first example number 1. Let's multiply 25a to the power 3 with 4a squared. Okay. So, het jy al gekry? Net vir die klank aansit, dis hy. Ek wil nie dit op my recording hê nie. Okay, so step 1, we have got to multiply the coefficients. Okay, now remember about the sign. The sign is part of the coefficient. No? Okay, so that means that I'm going to say 25 times 4. No? Right, now what's 25 times 4? 100. Okay, and now step 2. I am going to multiply the unknowns or the variable. No? Now, very important. Remember your exponent rules. What? Remember. Sorry. Remember. Exponent rules. Okay, so basically a to the power of 3 times a to the power of 2. Now, can you see base is a for both of those? And when base is the same and we're multiplying, what are we doing with exponents? We're going to add. So you're actually going to say a to the power of 3 plus that 2, right? This step you do not have to write. I'm just writing it to explain to you guys. Right? So you could skip directly to the answer of 100, a to the power of 5. Okay, you guys good? Right, now, same thing, same principle, just one slight change. Sorry, I've got to pause. Okay, right, so example number 2. Same principle that we're going to, 2, but just a different way of asking it. I can say, right, 4a to the power of 2, and then I give you a bracket, 12b to the power of 3. Okay, what does that mean? It means 4a to the power of 2, and then because it's written right in front of the bracket, it actually means multiply that with whatever is written inside the bracket. Okay, good. So it's almost the same as what we had here at example number 1. It's just a different way of writing it. Okay, right, so can you guys guess what this would be? We start with the coefficients. So what are we going to multiply? 4 times the 12, which gives me 48. Okay, 48. And then we multiply the unknowns. Now, can you see I've got a base of A and a base of B? So could I use exponent rules?
No.
So it's going to become, I'll be very specific, A what? A to the power of 2, B to the power of 3. No. There we go. So that's going to be your answer. Okay. So when base is not the same, all we do is write them next to each other. Because if I have this, x, y, can you see nothing is written between the x and the y? What's actually written there is x times y. When we put two unknowns next to each other, it actually means you've got to multiply them. All right. You fine with that? Yes.
So, ma'am, you don't add it, then it becomes ab to the power of 5.
No, I couldn't because exponent rules say that my base must be the same and we must be multiplying, and only then can I add exponents. Okay, so because base is different, I keep them just the way they are, but I write them next to each other to show that I actually multiplied them. Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's make it more complicated. Let's see. Nee, kom julle slim kinders. Nee, kyk hoe lag julle. Okay, right. Ja. Dit wil ek glad nie weet. Okay, kyk gou hier. So example number 3. In the previous one, you had one term inside that bracket. Right. So now I'm going to do this. Let's say 4x. And then x plus 6. Okay, so now all of a sudden, I have two things inside, or two terms inside my bracket. Right? Now, usually, if you've got more than one thing in a bracket, you first check whether we can maybe simplify them. Could I add the x and the 6? No, because they're not like terms. No. Sorry? No. Nee, niks, moenie dit gehoor het nie. Okay, so kyk gou-gou. What we're going to do is, think of the previous example. We said, whatever's written inside or in front of the bracket must be multiplied with everything inside that bracket, meaning the 4x must be multiplied with x, and the 4x must also be multiplied with the 6. Okay, you guys fine? Right, so 4x times x. Hallo, soek jy vir juffrou Sny gaan?
Ek wonder of ek dit op my lineaal lê gelos.
Is dit daai idee? Kyk maar gou-gou. Ek het geen idee nie.
Oh no.
Okay, sorry my skat. Okay, kom ons kyk gou. So 4x times x is going to give me, who wants to guess? Not 5x.
What's 4 times 1?
4 times 1.
Oh, multiply.
Yes. 4 times 1 gives me 4. Those were my coefficients. Now x times x gives me x to the power of 2. Good. Okay, you guys must pay attention. We're going to play a game just now. Okay. Then we said, we've got to multiply 4x with that 6. Okay, so even though there's no unknown here, we still stick to coefficients. Right? So 4 times the 6. So what do you think it would be? 24x. 4x times 6 is going to be 24. And we can't just throw that x away. It's still just the x. No. She's now asking, do I add it? I couldn't. Ayola, moenie nou heeltyd antwoord nie. Jy mag nie antwoord nie. Can I add them? No, why not? Are these like terms? No, that one is x squared and that one is x. So I could not add. Okay. Do you guys think you've got it? Maybe. Okay, so we're going to play a game now. Yeah? If that one had it to the power of 2, then they were like terms, then I add. Yeah. No, but then they aren't going to be like terms in anyway, so I couldn't add. Okay. Yes, you had a question? Shh. Yeah?
Maybe you can explain like why it's wrong, because I didn't understand it confused. I first thought it would be 24x to the power of 2.
Over here.
No, it's like the whole thing.
Okay, because maybe you should all have a look. But what I'm going to show you now is what I do not want you to do. So that's why I initially didn't want to show, ne? That was what he was asking, ne? Okay, so what you're saying, or what I think you did, is you said 6 times x. And that gave you 6x, and then you multiplied it with a 4x, and that gave you 24x to the power of 2. Yeah? Yeah, but see, you are then choosing what you want to multiply with each other. And the way that it's written here, it's actually 4x must be multiplied with, and because it's in brackets, every single thing inside that bracket. Okay. Listen, I'm going to write an expression on the board. Quickly do it. And then just before the bell rings, I am going to, if you want to, you can play along. If you don't want to, you don't have to. If you want to take part, then, and you think you got it right, you stand up. And then as I go on marking, once you make a mistake, you've got to sit down. And then we see how many of you are still standing. Yeah, I know. Okay. Right, example number 4. Quick. Yes, this is now the game. Okay, so let's see if you guys paid attention.
No, never.
Ach, niet toe?
At least I copy it down there. I see.
That's it. Okay, quickly try it. Maar nie praat nie, jy doen net.